The older I get, the more I find myself using this website called How Long to Beat. You know, you search up a game and it tells you the average time it takes to finish it. It's handy to know how much of a time commitment a game is before I play it. I look at a game that takes like 40, 50, 60, sometimes even 70 to 80 hours, and that's daunting. I'm not made of free time. I don't have time for games that take this long to finish, unless I really like it. So when I instead see that a game takes 4 to 6 hours to finish, I feel much more inclined to give it a try. I obviously don't finish every game I play, no one does, but I like seeing games at the end. If I'm not sure if I'll like it, why bother spending time and money trying to finish a long game? What if I just end up feeling like I wasted my time? That's why I love short games. They don't waste your time. They don't have time to waste. They have to make a good impression, or else they'll just make you feel empty. Short games focus more on a polished experience because it's much easier to pretty up those 3 to 5 hours than those 20 to 40 hours. They still have all those parts that make games good, it's just condensed into a smaller package, often without filler too. If the entire game is good instead of most of it, that can leave just as much of an impression, and that makes me way more likely to replay them, especially when you give me a reason to. Maybe I can try solving Portal's puzzles in different ways, or maybe I'll try using different abilities in Kirby, or maybe I'll do a genocide run of Undertale for a change. Try to go through Super Metroid in a different way, play as Zero in X4. I love to go back and replay games, and I'm more likely to do that with shorter ones because a lot of them feel like they're just begging me to play them multiple times. I can't count how many times I've replayed Metroid Fusion, Mega Man ZX Advent, Portal, and Sonic Generations, because of how much fun it is to just go through another round when I feel like I need a pick-me-up. Short lengths tend to mesh well with action games because of this sense of mastery. If you play a game enough times, you want to get good at it, and if the game is on the shorter side, that's easier to do. Sometimes that's intentional, like how games like Bayonetta or Mega Man Zero have a ranking system. If you want a better rank, you better hone your skills, and the game typically rewards you for it. What about games with branching pathways? You can finish the Stanley Parable in like 10 minutes, but you can't say you finish it just by following the narrator's directions. Experiment, make it mad, maybe end up in some weird void or even Minecraft. Get some achievements if you feel up for it. There's one that requires you to turn the game off for 5 years, which I'm still working on. And while I may not like Star Fox, I'm not into on-rail shooters. I love the idea behind finding secrets in levels that lead to new paths and new levels entirely. And yeah, those 3 to 5 hours could be incredible, some of the best 5 hours of your life. But it's still 5 hours, games are expensive. Some people want bang for their buck, and I get that. It's probably why your average $60 game is getting longer. Resident Evil 3 is a short game, and the remake is also short, and people hated how short it is. The industry has changed since the NES days. Games don't have to be short anymore, which is probably why short games are moving to the indie and budget scene. Mega Man games are short, so 9 through 11 were sold at a cheaper price. People are willing to play a short game that's $20 or less. Undertale is probably the most influential indie game in recent years, and it's only about 6 hours long. Short games don't sound inherently appealing, but they're not going away because people clearly like them. They just move to a different price point that's more enticing. Some games are too short though. You can end up playing a game and it ends just as it's getting good, and that can feel less satisfying than a boring 30-hour adventure. In general, unless it's a free game or something, anything less than 2 hours on a first playthrough doesn't feel long enough. It feels like you just got started. A good example is Kirby's Dreamland. I mean, come on, I can finish it in like 25 minutes. Did I even really play it? There are plenty of benefits to longer games, though. If you like it, there's almost something spiritual about spending all your time playing a single game for weeks on end. You almost feel like you lose a part of yourself when it's finally over. Not to mention the sheer number of hours of entertainment you can get for the same price. Even better if you can get it on sale. Persona 4 is only like $20 on Steam. That's insane for something that lasts 70 hours. But long games are exhausting. Why are there so many good games that are so long? I love me some Xenoblade and Persona, but if they were half the length, they might be worse games, but I feel like I'd like them even more than I already do. That's the thing I hate most about RPGs. It's like my second favorite genre behind platformers, but any more than 15 to 20 hours and I feel intimidated trying to start one. Those 15 to 20 hour RPGs are like the best things, man. RPGs are just inherently long. That's a fact of life, unless it's an RPG Maker game or something. 15 to 20 hours is the sweet spot for this genre. It's long enough for you to feel power growth, tell a good story, and feel satisfied by the end without feeling drained. It's great. I'm way more inclined to replay something like Pokemon, Mega Man Battle Network, and Star Force, or Chrono Trigger because they're just the right length for the kind of games they are. Chrono Trigger especially, there is zero filler here. You do the bare minimum and it's only like 12 or 13 hours, but you do those endgame side quests that flesh out the main characters and it's about 20, and it's all awesome. Except the new DS content apparently, but I'll let that slide. Pokemon and Battle Network have that replayability factor just like a short game would too. There's a near limitless combination of teams you can have in Pokemon, and even if you somehow did all of them, you can still try out different moves and strategies on top of that. It's so fun to try out different decks and strategies in Battle Network, and if that's not enough, try out different style changes, and the later games have version differences that actually warrant a second playthrough. Not everyone likes Double Souls, but I love how they make each version feel truly unique from each other, and I'm more inclined to replay these games because they're short enough to do so. Who has time for multiple 60-hour playthroughs? 20 hours is where it's at for RPGs. Short games are all about quality over quantity. You may get less hours out of it, but those few hours can be so much better than if the game was longer. The older I get, the more I find myself drawn to short games, because time is fleeting and sometimes it feels like I can't get through long games anymore. Even though I played 2 Xenoblades and Persona 5 Royal within the span of 3 months last year, but it feels like I don't have time to. So when I play a good short game, it feels so good. Games used to be short because they had to be, but nowadays games can be short because they want to be, and that's beautiful. This has been Flame Guy, and I may not have been here for long today, but how is that a bad thing? Take care, and I'll see you all next mission.